Hi, this is Maya with Ricoh. This video is about pivots, widgets, and dashboards. Pivots are the charts and graphs you see here. Widgets are the containers that hold the pivots. The dashboard is the container that holds the widgets and pivots, and they're stored here in this drop-down menu. To create a new widget, you can select the Add Widget icon. We have a few options: communication analysis, cluster visualization. These two are available if you have those set up in your database. For looking at charts of your tagging and coding and metadata, select the pivot icon. You can select pivot profiles, which are canned, saved pivots. You can see here when I select the number of files by custodian, we get a set of values that are already populated for you. You can also use the drop-down menu, filter for the object that you want to search, and select it manually. You can see here that for the different types of fields, this is a date field, we have another option. This is the every month option. This is good for larger data sets. Even bigger data sets, you'll probably want to use the every year option. For smaller data sets, you can use these. And what this does is this changes the complexity, either makes it more complex or less complex of a widget for your pivot. And if it gets too complicated, you'll get an error. So if you get an error, you can change this setting to something a little more broad, and it'll execute for you. So we'll select the Add Pivot icon. And here we have a number of files by custodian widget. We can interact with this widget by selecting values on the chart. This will execute as a filter, and you can see here that our widget changes depending on the data set that we've selected. So they automatically update. Other ways we can interact with this is by navigating in our subfolder structure. Here we can see just Susan's number of files by date. And we can do the same in our field tree and in our saved searches. The dashboard option will be available in all three of these views. So now that we have saved, we've changed a widget on our dashboard, we get a little warning sign: this dashboard has unsaved changes. If we want to save it under this option, we can select the save icon, or we can save as, give it a new name, and the order is determines where it's going to appear in our dropdown. So I hit save. That sorted at the bottom of the list. Now we have a new dashboard called test that brings back our number of files by custodian. I recommend when you start making dashboards that you create a default dashboard that contains just your document list. This will ensure that your data is loading very quickly for you, and also change it to 25 items per page in your settings controlled at the top here. This will optimize the performance of the database. So looking at our coding dashboard, we can interact with the widget a little further. We can edit the conditions of the pivot. Here's where we get to save our pivot profile. So if we want to save the conditions of our pivot from the edit screen, we can save it using this link. This maximize is the option to fill the whole dashboard with this one chart. That's what we did to get our default list to have the document list populating the whole screen. You can see here at the stack icon, we can select the restore. This takes our list down to our widget. But since it's our default, I keep it at maximize, and that's how you change that option. So coming back here, we've got a few more options we can configure. This display type option is the same as the option in the bottom drop down here when we edit our pivot. We can export to a graph, an actual image file format, or to an Excel spreadsheet. This is great for sending reports via email. And we can show our different options if we wanted to see all the blank items in our chart. We can show our legend, and we can show our subchart. We can do that in here. There we go. The different chart types have different options. Here's the list option. We have different page settings, column sizes, and grid style you can configure. So in addition to doing all of the normal things that you can do with your document list without the dashboards, editing, exporting to PDF, exporting to file, and so forth, you can also make saved searches. And when you are configuring your saved search wizard, this option dashboard gives you the option to enable the dashboard to appear every time that search is executed. This is really great for sending reports to attorneys who want to take a look at specific charts and graphs. And the great thing about executing these searches with the pivots automatically is it can give you up-to-date real-time reporting. If you're going to use these searches for review, you might consider just leaving it at your default list. Saved searches performance will diminish with the more complex conditions that you have in your conditions list and if you have complex reporting. So great for reporting tools, not quite as great for review. So that's a factor to consider. So when we already have our search available, if I was going to start my review, we would keep our saved search as default. But if we're going to use it for reporting only, we'll keep that at coding. We'll hit save and search. And every time we pop into the St. Clair Carroll search, it's going to update this coding layout with the new, today's updated, minute by minute number of responsive, non-responsive, confidentiality, and so forth for this custodian. So every time the search is executed, you're going to get new documents. Those are going to be reported here. So some other pivots and widgets and dashboards that I have to show you. We have our clustering. This is great when you have your clustering set up in the database. You can navigate Relativity's groupings of the documents based on concept. You can click individual items and interact with the widget to update your document list and start reviewing specific subsets of records. And you saw that it updated the cluster when we executed a filter. We also have our communication analysis. This gives us the little graphical chart for our communication bubbles so we can see which custodians are communicating with which other custodians. So right now I'm zooming in and out based on wherever my mouse is. I can click and drag this chart and I can select specific custodians, and the chart's going to update with all of the users who are communicating with this custodian, and we can really start to hone in on individual groups of records and conversations. Now, one last pivot dashboard that I have here is our case dynamics. So if you are coding for case dynamics, you've got your facts and your issues and so forth, you can make your facts case dynamics and issues case dynamics pivots by selecting the fields called facts case dynamics. Don't pivot on anything, and let's just make it a table to keep it simple. And we can start zooming in on specific facts. We can look at our communication analysis and our cluster widget in conjunction with these filters and really hone in on different subsets. If we had a filter here for a specific cluster that these communications were interacting with, we could broaden our search to just everything in that cluster and really start to get at the world of records that are most important to us. So that's pivots, widgets, and dashboards. You can use them in conjunction with all of these other tools in Relativity or just for very simple reporting on your review metrics. Thanks for joining me today. Happy reviewing.